You are live.
I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Finance for the town of Somers, November 18th, 2025. The members present: Paul Hart, Bruce Devlin, Joe Tolosano, Bill Salka, Kathy Devlin, and Mike Parker. For some reason, we have the Board of Education update on first, but no Sam tonight, so I guess you have some comments.
Yeah, he sent an email. He said that the only real update from the Board of Education is that the principals presented their budget requests on November 17th, and the first budget subcommittee meeting is on December 1st, and he'll have more I can't say that word. He'll have more information as they move through the budget process.
That's it? Mr. Keeney, you have a lot to make up for here.
In terms of keep you guys awake.
That's right.
First of all, I have a town report. I already gave one to Joe. Got a town report dated 1890. You don't want to take a look at this. Just which one, Paul? I didn't have wording.
It's okay.
I think the threshold for the budget change was the same then.
Hasn't updated.
You got to read it. Interesting. Half of the elected officials did 90% of the road construction in town. Gosh. It is
3 months.
Things have changed a lot.
Even the fact that there was a Connecticut hospital for insane. We could use one of those.
I think we were taking care of people in the hospital, too, by the way.
Yeah. Interesting, the items.
That's crazy.
Anyway, I will give you a very brief report here. I do have two things I wanted to talk about. One is the apartment complex that we're anticipating in regards to wind development in Somersville. We've got a meeting coming up, myself, Brian, Mike Bernaccio, Todd Rowland, on Thursday with the vice president of the company, Wind Development, who is the first person we met with actually over 3 years ago. But because of some of the developments that are going on, things aren't looking very positive at this time. And the problem is that Wynn believes that their cost figures require they need a certain amount of additional money that you'd like to get from us or from the bond commission. It's not coming from the bond commission because we're not asking for it. The problem is you go to the bond commission and you come back 6 months later and say, oh, we wanted so-and-so amount. Now we want another $3 million. They're going to go, this is crazy. So we have gotten actually very good response from the Department of Housing. They like the project. The Bond Commission is willing to put up $5 million, we think, at their next meeting. And the DECD, again, we've been working with them for over 2 years now. They've told us they will fund the environmental remediation if Wind commits to the project. If Wind doesn't commit, they're not going to do it. That's probably somewhere between $400,000 and $800,000 worth of environmental remediation that could be done. Of course, that would help the town out tremendously if it did. And I've also received sort of back channel information that the Department of Housing now has new requirements with regards to low-income housing. They're looking for the developers to put up more money to reduce the rents. So that totally works against Wind. So I'm just kind of wondering how this meeting's going to go on Thursday. But Brian himself we're not real positive about it, and we're likely to hear that hey, it's just not working out. So if it doesn't, we're going to be looking for somebody else that maybe could pick up this project. But again, we've been working with Wind now for 3 years, and And the communication chain has not been great lately either, so that's another indicator that things may not be all that positive. So that's one thing. Any questions on that?
Any questions from the board? No.
Next thing, I just wanted to report on the 250th celebration that we're talking about. 250th celebration of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, which is next year, of course. The signing itself, again, was on the 4th of July, I guess, or when they ratified on the 4th of July. By the way, so as you know, the Board of Selectmen appointed an ad hoc committee. It's been meeting now for about 3 months. I've gone to most of their meetings just to sort of be aware of what they're doing. David Pinney, their chairman, came to our last Board of Selectmen meeting and brought us up to date on what they've done and what their plan is. And so I can just report on sort of where we are in that regard. They're thinking about, I think it's the 14th of May, 14th of August next year.
Yep.
Would be the day. We have one day that we have a so-called celebration here in town. It would probably go from maybe 10 o'clock in the morning till 9 or 10 at night. It would involve several different forms of entertainment. They'd have a stage show. They'd have a stage which shows could be given on during the day. It would be at Field Road Park is where it would be. So we're thinking about, of course, parking, but we think it could be accommodated with regards to the senior high school parking and other parking that could be available there. Plus, they would use some of the ball fields for some of the events. They would have games, for children. They are thinking about hiring a group to put on a drone show at night. So that would be very interesting. And a drone show. And apparently these things are visible from 5 miles away, so we ought to be charging our neighboring towns to be able to look at this. Anyway, that's going to work big.
Would it be impossible to do fireworks?
Yeah, we looked into that, and that's of course was our first go-to. And I personally love fireworks.
Me too.
I've always had a nice collection at home until I use them all. But I can't tell you the stories about that. But needless to say, with my background, I love fireworks. Anyway, but the deal with fireworks, of course, you have to get special permits. There's insurance requirements. It's really expensive.
Is it about 10 grand or something?
It's about 10 grand. It's like 10 grand for every 10 minutes.
Or more than that.
Yeah, I think a half-hour show was going to cost over $30,000 for fireworks.
More than that. I'd say for $30,000, you make it 10 minutes, maybe 15.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just.
it's expensive, and there's a lot of liability.
We don't have the kind of funds that you would need to have fireworks. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's just. It would be nice, but I think a drone show could be very interesting, though. And so we're also talking about the Savage Brothers would be the band that we would have that Saturday evening. We'd have other types of entertainment throughout the day. There'd be people in dress and all kinds of games for kids. The library is putting on some things on their own. They've got 3 different things planned and different dates with themes for each of the 3 events. That would be, I think, very interesting. Cultural Commission is also involved. They're sponsoring the Wyndham band that they've had before, I guess. They would have a theme that relates to the 250th celebration, and they would do it on the 3rd of July. So this isn't all going to occur on the 14th of August, but most of it will. Let's see, other things. We're also going to involve the American Legion, Scouts. Schools are going to be involved. They're going to have things going on during the year. Also, of course, we're going to be using some of the grounds of the schools as well for part of this event. And they come up with a budget of somewhere around $80,000 that it's just a rough budget right now. They're still trying to work out what the different elements are, but the next phase, of course, is to figure out how we're going to raise that money, and the expectation is that all the money needed will be raised. So that's what they're shooting for. Any questions on that?
So do you know if they considered Hillsdale at all, or they just dismissed that totally?
Yeah, unfortunately, this group has not even mentioned the word the Blake Center. So I still think it's a major complex in town. It's obviously, and I think this group has kind of been influenced by the shock and awe of the people that complained about the Blake Center even being considered in the past, where they referred to Thomas Jefferson as being a slaveholder, a raper of women, and a child molester, and all kinds of other things that you just wouldn't. You have to look at the tape to believe it. It was, I forget the date, but Brian might remember what it was. But they went on for an hour. This is the public comment. All these complaints that basically said, we want nothing to do with the Blake Center. Nothing. They were screaming into the microphone. So I think that scared off a lot of people. However, there still might be some opportunities. So appreciate the question, and I'm going to probably come up with something myself that might be satisfactory. So that's all I have. Any questions? Great.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I do have one. What sort of outreach are you guys planning to try to get donations and so on for the?
Yeah, good question. We haven't quite gotten there yet. And I think this group is going to form a committee. Mike Marinaccio, I think, is going to be very much involved, as is Scott Copeland. Scott, by the way, has been very helpful here because, of course, he puts on he chairs the annual show in Enfield. And he's done it for several years, so he knows how to get the bands. He knows how to raise the money. They've already come up with some ideas on how to do that.
Okay.
We're going to be reaching out, obviously, to businesses that might want to participate.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's obviously a big part of this whole thing, is being able to raise the money.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Brian?
Yeah, so you've got the budgets and where they stand to date in your packets. I also put together an ambulance fund report through the first quarter. The big highlight I put at the bottom, the calls by town. So these are the two towns that we have the intercept agreements with, Stafford and Ellington. And so in the first quarter, we went to Stafford 58 times, Ellington 22 times. So I think it kind of shows like that $250 that we're collecting just for going there is paying off. We've collected $20,000 through September 30th for going places other than here, on top of the insurance money that we've collected from it as well. So I think that's it's showing that we're doing the right thing and making sure that this fund remains whole and that the ambulance is being properly compensated. And this is as of 9/30, as of October. Another almost 5,000 has come in as well for the October calls, but they'll show up in the second quarter report. Any questions on any of the budget stuff?
So are the insurance premiums paying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're getting not only the...
So now we're breaking even, whereas before we were losing. That 250 was basically where we were missing out. That was the figure that we calculated, and so we negotiated between Stafford and Ellington. That's bringing us back to we're making our cost.
Medicare payments are not close to cost.
Not even close. Not even close. Thankfully, not too many of those, though, but not even close to making us whole. The reval is completed. I'm sure everybody here got their letter in the mail. The overall average was about 36% increase to the grand list. So good news is the grand list grew a lot of good real estate in town. So there will be a significant decrease to the mill rate itself. Based on the numbers right now, probably when it rebalances, it'll probably be a 9 mil decrease from where we're at. And then any new spending will then be shown as a tax increase in the budget. But it will be we'll be back down into the low 20s when we readjust in the spring.
Should we go over $1 billion finally?
1.3.
Nice.
Yep, over $1 billion.
I will say this, as I use my wife's Facebook account, checking for old boyfriends. I realized that a lot of people don't understand, their house went from $200,000 to, and they're all, oh my God, I'm going to get a $4,000
Yep.
increase. And we don't have anyone who watches that summer's.
So we don't have.
You don't post, you should post what you just
And so,
said.
and I did. And so if you read through a lot of the comments, like I replied to and, gave people factual information.
Right.
One person in particular was like, my tax bill is going to go up $3,000.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not.
No.
This is how the process works. And we will readjust the mill rate with the new budget. It will go down. Everything, we're not taxing for, I think it works out to, the increase alone works out to I forget how much it was in taxes. It was a wild amount of taxes. It was like $10 million in taxes.
Right.
It was like, we don't have $10 million worth of spending.
Right.
We don't need $10 million in new taxes. We're going to need, $600,000 in new taxes. Those, getting people to understand that. So there were a handful of comments that I replied to directly. And
Okay.
if you guys have any more questions, contact my office, contact the assessor's office. We'll answer any questions. And then we did have a few people after that, reach out to us and come into town hall and ask questions. And so, but you're right. I mean, I think as long as people are actually giving factual information and not just out there being, just trying to comment, I don't see any harm with posting on social media. But
Okay.
I know I peruse that site quite often, just to try and correct any negative information that's going out there that people are just putting out false facts that aren't real.
Good. Thank you.
Yep.
Anything
And then-
further on that point?
Nope.
And budget submissions are beginning to come in. We should have an idea of everybody's requests by the December meeting. We'll have an idea of what it looks like, and then the Board of Selectmen will begin their process of reviewing and making any cuts before it actually comes in front of you guys. But it's shaping up to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, a good budget year. So we'll see.
Anything else?
That's it.
Questions for Brian?
Nope.
All right.
Joseph Palisano. Oh, we got a meeting scheduled.
Yep, meeting schedules.
Thank you. I can retake my.
Do you want me to make a motion to approve the meeting schedule?
I think that would be a great idea.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting schedule for 2026.
Is there any second?
Sure, John.
I'll second. I have a comment on it.
We can, after the second, we open it up for discussion. You can go wild.
I just wanted to voice that I have a conflict for the third Tuesday. I was able to be here tonight, but I have another meeting. It meets the same third Tuesday, so just might not be able to.
So the November, the November and December. And I'm open to putting it as the fourth Tuesday if everybody wants to. Historically, we've always done it not on the weeks of a holiday. I think the fourth one in December, I think that might actually be the fourth one in December.
I'm trying to make a major issue, but
So can you
yeah,
make
that's
the
the fourth one in
22nd of December?
So that is the fourth one in December, the 22nd.
that's the fourth Tuesday that I
Yep,
can make.
the
it.
17th
make
is the
that
only one that's
It's
the
just,
third.
I have another meeting, it meets the third Tuesdays of the month.
Yep, the November one's the only one that's on the third, so it would be the 24th if you wanted to make it the 24th.
So that's,
How about if we moved it up to the 10th?
Could move it up to the 10th too if you wanted to as well.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, the 24th, I don't know what day Thanksgiving is on, but
The
it's...
26th,
It's the 26th.
26th next year, yeah. So it'll be 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Does anybody, that trouble anybody, really? Anybody going away for Thanksgiving? All right, why don't we move it up to
To
the
the
10th?
10th?
Is that all right? Is that good for everybody?
Should be fine.
Okay.
I will get that
Okay.
submitted then.
We have a motion to approve the schedule as amended.
So, yeah,
We have a second.
second.
Any further discussion? Nope. Can't have any more discussion. All right, all in favor? Aye. Unanimous.
Thank you for accommodating me.
Problem. Joseph,
Yes.
CIP?
Yep, so I'll just give you a quick update on HVAC. We've had 2 meetings since we last met. We are on the 4th review of the budget. The budget is substantially less based on a new design. I think equipment and, the construction aspect of it, I think is around 9.4.
Yep.
And the administrative piece, the insurance, all the other aspects of it, the contingency fund, that's about another 1.9 to 2 million. I think we feel once we actually go out to bid, that the project will come in between 8 and 10 million total all in. It's a very, very conservative estimate for the costs.
Yep.
It's a completely different design. There's a lot of, if this goes, a lot of contingency in there, a lot of conservative estimating. So I think we're in good shape. We've told the state that, because we're applying for a new grant, and they kind of said, well, you got a grant sitting out there. So we're going to tell them that we can't possibly execute that grant by next December 31st. We're going to bid on the new grant from December 1st to the 10th. Supposedly, they tell us within 30 days if we get it, it's about a 60% reimbursement rate based on the budget that we come up with. Once that's done, around February timeframe, we'll go out to bid. That will take 30 to 45 days, and hopefully by the spring, we can start chilling the children down.
Yep.
That'll take 2 years, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. But it's a lot less construction work.
Yeah, it's less invasive. So even the work that's being done during the school year won't affect anything. There won't no reason to move children.
Yeah, none of the politics of it are
Yeah, so
rearing their ugly.
it'll be real heavy in the summer, and then real heavy again the following summer.
A lot of exterior work.
Yeah, a lot of the work is done outside of the building.
There's these, outside units that mount to the platform outside the classroom.
Yeah.
And then there's a inside vent that pushes the cool air in. So
Like
it's
a mini split kind of thing?
a mini split. Yeah, 62 of them, to be exact. So that's where we're at. Fingers crossed.
Yep.
That's good, Joe. Thank you.
The other thing on CIP is we have to reappoint.
Yep.
Ask Kathy if she wanted to stay on. She appears to want to continue.
I did.
So I guess we'll go with the same lineup, if everybody's good with that.
Good. And
We
me.
got you, Kathy, who else?
And that's it, and then there's an appointment. Do we
then-
we don't appoint the other?
Yes. Yep.
So-
Stephanie and myself. Yep.
So that would be the lineup for the capital.
Do we need a formal vote?
Yep. Because we've had an election, so we need to
Yep.
reinstate everyone.
Yeah. Every 2 years we do CIP.
Do you have a motion?
Yeah, so I'd like to make a motion to appoint Joe, Kathy, Brian, and Stephanie to the CIP.
Second?
Yep.
Any further discussion?
You're
Ready for another?
Yes. Unanimous approval, right?
Yes, aye.
Aye.
We have minutes assuming there's no other business.
Do we have to take a vote on the officers of this body? Since we had
So
no-
I asked that question and never got a answer from anybody. I'm not really sure.
It probably doesn't hurt just to do it to be
That
safe.
was my thought too.
I thought
but-
the Board of Ed has to do.
Right, so the Board of Ed has to, even though, but I don't know who ran for election and who didn't. I wasn't really, but
So for
I
safety's
did.
sake, I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Mike Parker as chair.
Absolutely.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye. You don't get a vote.
We have to make another motion for clerk, isn't that?
Yes, vice chair and secretary. Yeah.
Got it.
Vice Chair, Secretary.
So I'd like to make a motion to appoint Joe as vice chair.
Careful what you wish for.
I make a motion for yours.
And we need a clerk too.
But
Yeah,
we'll do one at a
secretary.
time.
What's that?
We'll do one at a time.
Really?
I think that's what we historically did. it more times.
Yeah, it's always been
Your show,
it's always been three different
your
motions.
show, but I'm saying I always thought we had to do it separately.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
first of all, we definitely have to do the chair.
It's always been three different motions. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a second for Mike?
You already did mine.
For Joe.
We've already
I'm sorry, for Joe, I mean.
Second for Joe.
What about him? Oh, yeah, I second.
He's the secretary. Can make policy.
The more we talk, the more Bruce is going to get confused. So
Yes, I'm going to start throwing names. Somebody second Joe. Okay, all in favor?
No, we have.
Bill did, I thought.
All in favor of Joe Talisano as vice chair?
All right.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next motion to appoint the clerk.
Secretary?
Here we go.
So you're changing, because right now you have Bill.
Poor Bill's,
What's your role?
yes, commitment issues.
I'm happy to turn it, I mean, it's, I show up and sign things once in a while.
I'm trying to vote for him.
Keep him on?
Yeah.
All right.
There is nobody who ever gets out of this.
I vote.
It's like the
Once you're in, you're in
All
for
right,
life.
so there's a motion. I don't want to be the hog here, somebody else do
Make a motion that we appoint Bill.
Second.
it. He didn't even finish.
Bill as
Any
as the
discussion?
recorder.
Hearing none. All in favor?
All right,
Any opposition? Hearing none. Motion carries.
okay.
All right. I think we.
When I speak up, I add stuff to it.
Thank you. Minutes from October 14th, 2025 should be in your packet.
Yes.
Any comments?
I'll make a motion to accept and approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Joe show. Second.
Thank you for the